A Drarry Halloween by Mermaid886. Summary. While their peers wander off to bed after dinner on All Hallows Eve, Draco and Harriet spend their time falling in love. A Drarry fanfiction with a female Harry Potter. It had been difficult for Harriet Potter to return to Hogwarts after the war and complete her last year of magical education. While the ghosts of the dead haunted her and the trauma lingered from the horrors she had witnessed, most people couldn't fathom the many torments she endured each day as she walked through the castle's stone halls. Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger returned to sit by her side day in and day out as they finished their own magical learning, but there were little consolation to Harriet's private, internal dilemma. During that first semester, under reinstated headmaster Severus Snape, who had survived his wounds due to Harriet's diligent rescue, she and Draco Malfoy exchanged more than a few scathing glances. Draco had claimed he hadn't really understood the course material offered in his classes during the war, therefore he couldn't graduate but would be forced instead to repeat his last year of schooling. If Harriet hadn't returned to the castle, its decision may have been different. Each time they made eye contact, Harriet wrinkled her brow in consternation as Draco turned away with a hateful scowl.
"Were you looking at Potter?"
Crabbe blinked as the 8th-year students worked through their study hall period one afternoon in late September.
"Of course not,"
Draco snapped.
"Keep your eyes on your parchment, both of you,"
he hissed as he glanced between Crabbe and Goyle.
"You two should be grateful they allowed you back. I can't believe you both failed last term."
"Shouldn't you be grateful too?"
Goyle frowned.
"No,"
Draco hissed with a haughty sneer.
"Why wouldn't they let me back in? I deserve better instruction than I got last year. I'm the one who threw my wand to Potter, the hero of the wizarding world. They should erect a statue in my honor."
Crabbe and Goyle snickered as Draco grinned arrogantly. While his friends busied themselves with jovial taunting, his grin faded as he glanced over to Harriet. A frown formed on his face while he watched her quietly continue her work. Draco Malfoy absolutely hated Harriet Potter for a variety of reasons, but most importantly, he hated her because he struggled to accept the fact that she would never be his. All Hallows Eve arrived on the tail end of October. That night, glowing pumpkin lanterns floated in the great hall where the castle's inhabitants eagerly gobbled down autumn-flavored foods. From across the room, Draco watched Harriet laugh with her friends. Before his housemates could become suspicious, he tore his grey eyes away and threw himself into the nearest conversation. Rudeness and haughty spite, those had always been Draco's cloaks of choice. He finished his meal and began to wander about the castle during the hour before bed, not wanting to resign himself to his lonely dungeon dormitory yet. The great hall gradually emptied as each student except Harriet left. As Draco roamed the castle, he couldn't help but notice when Ron and Hermione walked past him by themselves. His curiosity piqued. His nemesis was very rarely seen without her two idiot companions. If she hadn't been with them, then where was she? Draco knew it was a waste of his time as he walked down the drafty corridor. He chided himself on his own stupidity for foolishly thinking he could just return and find... He blinked as he peered through the doorway of the great hall and spotted Harriet sitting alone at the Gryffindor's table. Draco's heart leapt in his chest as he quietly entered the room. He didn't know what he thought he was doing or what the result of his action would be as his instincts led his feet forward and spurred him to call out,
"Potter?"
Harriet turned around and frowned when she saw him approaching. "What do you want, Malfoy?" she asked with a heavy sigh. It struck Draco to realize her voice didn't harbor hatefulness. Instead, she sounded tired. No, exhausted.
"I was bored, so I came back to see if there was any pumpkin pie left."
Draco lied.
"No, you didn't,"
Harriet scoffed.
"You're right."
Draco shrugged as he sat down across from her on the Slytherin's bench.
"I didn't."
He almost wanted Harriet to ask him more questions, but she stared up at the pumpkin lanterns instead as she mused. I really wish they had thrown a ball tonight, or a dance, or something. Silence settled between them before Draco asked,
Why?
I don't know. To bring a bit of brightness, I suppose. Harriet shrugged. That uncomfortable silence emerged again as they both glanced at the floor before their eyes met. Harriet sucked in a breath as she gazed at her enemy's disgustingly handsome face and found herself confronted with the truth she had tried for many years to deny. Unconsciously, Draco and Harriet moved towards each other as they held one another's gazes, while he asked,
Do you ever have mad ideas, Potter?
Mad ideas? Harriet echoed. What are you talking about? Malfoy? Harriet glanced at his lips as he glanced at hers. The flickering light from the pumpkin lanterns was soft and soothing as their eyes closed while their lips met. There, in the abandoned great hall on All Hallows Eve, Draco Malfoy and Harriet Potter finally shared their first kiss. The end. Thank you all for listening to this wonderful story by Mermaid886. I really hope you enjoyed this story. I really hope you enjoy this month, also this month full of stories. If you do enjoy, please consider subscribing to my channel. You can comment what your favorite story has been so far and like this video. It really motivates me a ton when you do that, so I'd really appreciate it, and I really hope I will see you all again tomorrow.